welcome to the Panavox channel. How's it going, Eric?
Doing good, Joe.
Yeah, so you heard the sad news recently. Ray Thomas of the Moody Blues, British musician, recently passed away. And when it happened, it kind of impacted me more than I thought it would. I've always been a very big Moody Blues fan. I listen to their music constantly, and I've been doing it for years. And this is kind of a point of intersection for you and me, Eric, because you are also Eric is also a big Moody Blues fan. Maybe
Yeah.
we emphasize different parts of the Moody Blues catalog, uh,
Hmm.
but I don't know, like Moody Blues to me is kind of more than music. It's kind of like a way of life. And
Wow.
yeah, I just to me these guys are almost larger than life. And it's very much a group thing. I'm not really focused too much on individuals with the Moody Blues because uh, they're at least as I knew them, they were not about ego. They were not about one buddy, any one of them standing out and being the man, but rather it was always very much a collaborative group project. There's a kind of selflessness in their production, the way they didn't really have a lead singer, the way that they kind of traded off, and anybody could sing in one of their songs.
Right.
And
Yeah. And
yeah,
and I think they had multiple songwriters too, didn't they?
they did, and so there was nobody really, running the show there. It really was a truly collaborative, democratic type of a project, and I think that has a lot to say about why the Moody Blues have endured so long, is because they were remarkably, at least what I know about them, remarkably free of ego and related issues trying to dominate or control. I don't think that was really a significant part of their dynamic as a group. And you can kind of see that in the lyrics of the group. It's very idealistic, very philosophical, well, let's be honest. And when they got started and going through the 60s, and I've read about this too, they were heavily involved in drug use. And it's funny because the later uh, Moody Blues going through the 80s and the 90s, and they've been around a long time. They've been very productive. They didn't really come across with a drug vibe, and that's not really what they were about. I mean, maybe that was what they were about in the 60s, and that did impact them. But there was always something deeper, I think, about the Moody Blues. It wasn't just about getting high. It was about exploring the deeper meaning of life, and again you see that a lot in a lot of their lyrics. But getting back to Ray Thomas, Ray was an interesting part of the group. Let's talk a little bit about his history. He was a man of humble origins, and I think all the members of the group were just working class folks, just like everyday people. But Ray in particular, and this is a great picture here from them. This is, I believe, connected to the On the Threshold of a Dream album, which was released in 1969. And boy, is this a 1969 picture, isn't it? It really captures the style of the era. Um, and you see Ray, he is there in the center of the picture. And but he was maybe even more humble than the other guys in the group because he didn't, I think he interrupted his education very early, didn't even get close to finishing his studies as, secondary studies, what we would call high school in the United States. And he was just kind of out there working a job, whatever he could get. He did a number of odd jobs here and there, and he was welcomed into the group. Well, he didn't play guitar, he didn't play bass, he didn't play drums, but he was with the other guys in Birmingham, England, and he says, I dabble a bit on the flute, and I dabble a bit on the maracas and on the tambourine, and I can sing." And so he kind of had a thin set of skills, so to speak. And then, but yet with his limited flute playing ability, he did the flute on Nights in White Satin, which I think is about as iconic a flute solo as there ever been in pop music.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Ray Thomas story is kind of the story about somebody who uh, just walked into the room where something was going on and said, can I get involved? And they let him get involved, and he made an incredible contribution. He composed a number of songs. He did lead vocals on a large number of Moody Blues songs, and he contributed lyrics. And he was a real creative force in his time, and he was, by all accounts, a beloved member of the group. And I love his lyrics. I love his vocal delivery. There's something about his vocal delivery in so many of his pieces that communicates, I don't know, compassion, kindness. He seemed like a nice guy, you know. And there's one song, "Candle of Life," which kind of I'm focusing on it because uh, it kind of captures a lot of his spirit, where he says, "Burn slowly the candle of life," and then the chorus goes, "Love everybody and make them your friend." Um, and I could go into more, but it gives you an idea of the Ray Thomas spirit. He was a true part of the 1960s. He was a true representative of the spirit of the era. I'm sorry, I'm going on and on here. I want you to talk some, Eric. Do you have any comments here? Because I don't know how knowledgeable you are about this topic, but go ahead.
Um, well, I honestly I don't know enough about the Moody Blues to know, like which songs Ray Thomas wrote or which songs he's singing on,
Oh, so
but
we could segue maybe into a discussion of some of them then, right? Or
okay, sure, yeah.
yeah, why don't we do that? So here are some songs that he sang lead vocals on. One of them is Twilight Time, which is from the first album, and then Dr. Livingston, I presume, kind of referencing history there, about this Albert Schweitzer in Africa, which interesting. I don't know if he composed that one. Legend of a Mind is a tribute to Timothy Leary. You know, Timothy Leary's dead. Um, eh, so kind of remembering that song kind of captures that spirit of the Moody Blues going to San Francisco and hanging out with Timothy Leary. You can imagine what they did back in the day. I won't fill in the blanks. But the other songs maybe more personal, like Dear Diary. And I might mention Dear Diary is a quintessential Ray Thomas song. It's a very vulnerable song. He says, "Dear Diary, what a day it's been." British pronunciation, bean. Dear Diary, it's been this like a dream. Woke up too late, wasn't where I should have been. For goodness sake, what's happening to me? And then it was colder outside my door. So many people by the score wandering around so aimlessly. Uh, can't they see there's a better way to be? So a lot of the sentiments of the 60s, kind of critically looking at society, saying, why are people wasting their lives away chasing money and material things when they could just be maybe hugging a tree or staring at the clouds going across the sky and
Hmm.
marveling at the wonders of nature. And so he kind of gets into that in this song. He says, the people have no way of knowing what the game is, yet they carry on doing what they can. Um, that you could say that's a psychedelic song, but it's also the philosophy of the 60s, the tune in, drop out, don't make your life an endless gerbil on a treadmill trying to make money and move ahead in life. Enjoy every day, enjoy being human on planet Earth. And so there's this guy, again, a man of very humble origins, not a college professor, not a philosophy expert, writing this great song about the philosophy of the 60s. And I think he really nails it in that song. He really does.
Hmm.
Uh, and then we can talk about songs that he wrote, and you have that list up here. And the Tide Rushes In, Another Morning, The Balance. Eternity Road is a great song. Um, we could go on. There's another song he sings on Candle of Life, which is a wonderful vocal delivery. I love the gentleness, the compassion, the kindness, the reassurance that came across in his voice in that song. I mean, I know that sounds kind of funny, well, maybe it might sound funny, but I think of Ray Thomas as a very comforting figure. There was something about the way he sang and his lyrics and his presence that was very comforting and peaceful. Um, I read about the guy's life. I don't think he was a saint or anything. He had ups and downs in his life and problems and things, but again, his presence, his presentation as a singer and as a musician was very, for me, was very calming and reassuring, and it made me feel peaceful and comforted, and so I really admired him for that.
Yeah, and for some reason the only Moody Blues album I have is Long Distance Voyager.
Yeah.
So I've heard Painted Smile and Veteran Cosmic Rocker, which are, I think both of those are off that album. But
Yeah, he composed those.
that's probably not the best Moody Blues album, but I still love it. And it's got a really great cover illustration too.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you there. I think that Long Distance Voyager is one of their very best albums. I think
Oh, wow.
yeah, I do. I think, in fact, I think it's a masterpiece. It's an excellent album.
I mean,
Uh,
I do. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if I love it, but I like it a lot. But I don't think I like it as much as their early albums, you know. But I
Yeah.
still think it's a really good effort, you know.
It's one of the best albums of the 1980s. I'll just kind of leave it at that. I wanted
Yeah.
to make one more tie back to a Ray overview before we wrap here. The song "Visions of Paradise." That's the last one on the list here that he composed, and he does sing that one too. If I believe, "Visions of Paradise" is one of my favorite Moody Blues songs. That comes off of the 1968 albums. What is that? What is that 1968 album called? I'm just drawing a blank here. It's the one that has the skull on it. But
Well,
anyway, well,
well,
you can write it in the comments below if you can figure it out. I don't want to go off on a tangent on that one, but Visions
yeah.
of Paradise is on that. That's a wonderful album, the 1968 album. If I had to name a favorite Moody Blues album, and Visions of Paradise is one of my favorite songs on that album. And
Is
Ray
it
Thomas,
Days of Future Past?
there you go, Days of
Uh,
Future Past, and Ray Thomas sings Visions of Paradise. Beautiful song. And I don't know, is it an LSD fueled type of vision? Possibly, but whether it is or not, it's funny when I hear it, I think of somebody doing transcendental meditation, or somebody, having a mystical spiritual experience, because that's kind of how the lyrics of the song go. And it's a song that could apply to any kind of religious or spiritual context as well. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but that's kind of how the song comes across.
mhm.
So hats off to Ray Thomas. Amazing what he could accomplish with his limited formal training as a musician. He just, again, I feel like he walked into the party and say, "Can I be a part of the band?" And they said, "We like you, Ray. You're a good bloke." "Yeah, sure." And they says, "Well, I don't really play guitar, don't play bass or drums. But I can hit this tambourine and I know a couple of notes on the flute. You're good, brother. You're good, brother. Join us. You're great. We'll find a place for you. You sing pretty well. Well, I can do a bit there, And then he just weaves in the group, and
Yeah.
they let him stay, and he made an incredible contribution. And I'm just like, the man was from the 60s. He was the epitome of the 60s, the British 60s. It's like, and he got in with the scene and he made it happen. And hats off to you, brother Ray. May you rest in peace. And we love the music. Thank you so much.